Hey guys, I want to do a razor sharpening video here, and I wanted to do something that I get a lot of questions about, and this is how to sharpen your first eBay find. So what I did is I got a razor on eBay. Now this is the package. I haven't opened it yet. I did open the top, but I haven't actually got into it yet. But I just wanted to go on eBay and I put some search parameters in. I put an $18 limit, free shipping, and buy now. Those were the three things. And I got this razor. Let's see what she looks like. Yep, it's got a coffin box. All right, this is it. I forget what it said on there. Trenton Razor Company. Can you see that? Show the other side. The razor doesn't look bad. The scales are kind of dirty. I can buff those up. But what I'm going to do is I want to show you when you buy a razor what you can do to get this thing sharpened so you can shave with it. I'm going to do. It's going to be real easy. I get this question 2 to 3 times a week in email on how to do this, and I always tell people how to do it. And now I'm just going to be able to send them a video link on how to do it. But you're going to need some things first. What we'll talk about, I'll show you here. We're going to go into the stones. Now, what you're going to need basically are 3 grit levels of stone. You're going to need a lower grit like a 4,000 and then an 8,000. Now, what I would suggest, and I don't have it, but is a Norton. This is an 8,000 Norton. I would suggest the 4.8 Norton. Norton comes up with a 4.8. That's a 1 stone that's 2 sides. That's probably about the cheapest way that you're going to get into this. I don't have that stone. I have a 5,000 Sharpen. You can get the different one. That's okay. I guess a 3,000 would work at this level, but you know, a 4.8 or the 5.8. And by the way, if you have one of those stones, it's a 3,000, 8,000 combination, and this is a 3x8, and that stones are somewhere around 7 inches long by 2 inches wide. Don't use it. It's junk. All right, you can just use it for knives or something else. It's not going to work for a razor. So we'll need that 4.8 Norton like this, or you can, if you have one of those, and we're going to need a finish stone. Now, in this particular video, I'm going to use the synthetic Nanoa 12K Superstone. You could use the ILR. I already did a video on that, so I wanted to use this one because I do recommend this as far as synthetic stuff. We're not going to talk anything about geometry here. We're not going to talk about microscope slides, none of that. This is going to be real basic so you can do your own razor. So also, I would suggest though some type of magnifying glass, okay? This is just a, you know, whatever. Maybe a Sharpie, and you're going to need some tape, electrical tape. What I would suggest you get is the 3M Scotch Super 88. It's a little bit thicker. Okay, so that's what you're going to need. These things right here, and we're going to get you through this. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to take it right over here, and we're going to start on the 5K. Yeah, that's so, or if you have the Norton 4.8, you're going to start on the 4K side, which is the white side. I'm going to generate some slurry on the stone, and this also laps it. You don't need one of these stones, although I would suggest it if you plan on doing, you know, more than one razor, just because they're easy. I have in one of my videos on how to lap the stone with sandpaper and a piece of granite. I'll put the link down there for that. But this way here, that laps it and generates slurry. If you don't, this is one of the things that comes with the Nano. You can use this to generate some slurry, and the reason I'm saying that is because you want it to cut. You can also use one of these little DMT things to make some slurry. And I know that these things you don't have to generate slurry, but for what we're doing, it's going to make it faster. Okay, so now the next thing, and this is the part some people wonder what I'm talking about. We're gonna put tape on the spline. When you get these razors, put tape on it. Just do it. I don't even want to get into the whole tape, no tape thing. Put tape on it. So what we're doing, I would suggest you cut the piece first. Don't try and fumble with the roll, and this thing is potentially sharp. center it there, kind of tack it, and then stretch it until it's centered in the back, tack it, and then do it all the way across, and then you just want to kind of roll it all the way down and make sure that there's no kinks on the spine there. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I want to test. This thing actually has an edge. Okay, it has an edge. I don't know what the edge looks like, but I don't trust it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, it doesn't even feel like that good of an edge. I am going to kill the edge first, and this is an important part. People ask me about, well, do I need to do that? Yes, you need to kill the edge. And the reason being is when we restore the edge, we want to know that we did it. So I'm doing this a couple of times here on the corner of the stone. So here, tomato skin. It doesn't cut. If I push hard enough, I could probably get it to cut. But bottom line is it doesn't cut. So what we're going to do here is we have to bring this edge back. All right, so put it on the stone. Someone asked me the other day, do you lay it flat? Yes, you lay it flat. Don't lift it up like that. Just leave it there. And what you're going to do, I'm going to do a little more aggressive, these half strokes. Now what I'm doing is I'm pushing down with the razor, and I'm also twisting it, torquing it down into the stone. But again, make sure you don't lift it. And I'm also applying some pressure here, and I'm taking it back and forth. You can just do X strokes if you want, but I'm gonna do the half strokes because it's faster. The slurry makes it faster. And I don't know if you can see that getting black there. It's taking the edge down. Okay. And I'm pitching it 90 degrees to help take some of those scratch marks out. Okay, now I'm gonna do circles. And don't get too hung up about doing the same amount of circles on both sides, just as long as it's fairly close. And that's a whole nother topic I'll talk about some other time, about having to do the exact same amount on each side. It's nonsense, you don't have to. All right. Let's see here. I'm just testing it. I can actually feel a little edge on that. All right, it's cutting already. I'm going to test all there. It cuts down there towards the heel, the middle, all over. Okay, so bottom line is we have an edge. We have an apex there, okay? So we have created the apex. So what I'm going to do now is just do some X's here. Further refine this. Good. Now let me take my trusty dealie here and look at this. Make sure there's no nicks in that edge. If there's nicks in there, you got to kill the edge again, bring the edge back, check it again. If there's still a nick in there, you got to just keep doing that till the nicks are gone. So that looks good. Good. Yeah, beautiful. Here. Let me say a couple things at this point. If you do this, you put a layer of tape on there and you're on the stone and you're on there 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't know how long that took me, maybe a minute or two, but if you're on there 10 or 15 minutes and you can't get the edge back on the tomato, you have to add another layer of tape. Go to 2 layers of tape and then do it again. Kill the edge and bring it back. Or I guess you don't need to kill the edge that time. But just keep going at that point until you bring it back. Now, the thing is, you can't move off of this stone until you can cut the tomato skin. If you can't cut the tomato skin, you still have work to do. That's why I said if you're there 10 or 15 minutes, put another layer of tape on there. Okay. Let's go to the 8. Now at this point, we're just going to be polishing the 5. So I'm just going to do some X's. I'm doing this under running water. You don't need to do that. I just got it wet. This is a Norton 8K. This stone you don't have to soak. It's just splash and go. But if you have the Norton 4K on the other side of this, like I had recommended that stone, that one you have to soak for a few minutes before you use it. I'm using a little bit of pressure, downward and torquing, and as I'm finishing up here, I'm just going to lighten it up. What are you feeling for here? I'm not even going to get into that. That's not important. If you got the edge at the 4,000 or 5,000, if it cuts the tomato skin, your edge is there, I would suggest you do about 30 on this. That'll make it easy. 30 will get you there. Okay. That's it on the 8K. Now, 12K Nano Superstone for the finish. I'm going to take my dressing stone. What does Caleb call this? The brown turd. I'm getting off all the old metal on there. I did lap this recently. I don't use it much, so it'll go a while between lapping. But this one does need a little bit of water. I leave this with water on it. I mean, if you just spray water on it, it does tend to soak up the water at first. Anyway, so now this is going to be the finish. Again, I'm torquing down a little bit. I'm rocking my pressure from the heel to the toe. And this, I don't know, 10 or 12. And she's good to go. Let me test it. Oh, that's beautiful. By the way, I said that this was a Trenton razor company. I don't know if that's, it might be a razor company. I just assume it's a German razor that, you know, they put their name on it. I could be wrong on that. But that's a wonderful edge. What I want to do now, strop it. Come on over here, Danny. So what I would suggest with a strop, you should have a beginner strop. I have one on Chef Knives To Go webpage that is a leather strop. It's like 20 bucks. But you know, someone just sent me a link of a buffalo, I think they called it buffalo hide, and it also has the prep strop in it. I think there's a polyester web. This is flax linen, which is the best, but if you're just starting out, you don't need to get that stuff. I'll put the link up to that other one, the buffalo, because it's $20 and it includes the leather and that, so that's pretty good. So what you want to do is, off the stone, is on your prep strap. This is linen. If you have something else, you could, but this one isn't critical, but I do it. I usually do about 20 here. And I do 40. And now this is just off the stone. Before I shave, I do half this. By the way, this strop came from Keith at Tomo Nagura. This is some kind, it feels kind of velvety. It's pretty cool leather. Can you hear that? That's a really cool sound. I haven't used this strop for a while. I just been, and I think this is horse. I would recommend horse. Horse is my favorite. That should be good. All right, here, let's see. Can you see the arm here? Flying off. Excellent. All right, put it up. Okay, so we're done. That's it. You just sharpened your first eBay find. Or even if you get, even if it's not an eBay find, you know, obviously this works for all razors, but sometimes you get these new razors that are shave ready. They're not. Just do this. Do the 1 layer of tape, and if you need to go to 2, if you're not moving within 10 to 15 minutes, I would not suggest you drop down to a 1K because you're gonna end up removing metal, too much metal, and once it's gone, you can't put it back. This will work. Also, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shave with it. I'm gonna show you how it works because it will be simple. And also, I'm gonna give it away, guys. Someone's gonna get this, so we'll talk more about that at the end. So, we'll see you at the sink. Something I wanted to mention, something I didn't mention before, about the tape thing. Technically, you should change the tape every stone, but since I didn't do it very long, I just kept the same layer of tape. But if you're on that 4K or 5K for a while, you know, like the 10 minutes we talked about, replace the tape, you know, before you go to the next stone. All right, next, I wanted to give a shout out to the Caw. These guys are making some fantastic soap. This is their new soap, I don't know, Sierra or something like that. But, you know, I spoke with the owner of the company, and this guy's really passionate about his stuff, and I kind of could appreciate that. But what I found interesting about it, I mean, not only is it great soap and it performs well and all of that, but as far as some of the stuff he puts protein powder in this stuff. I'm going to have to use this stuff before I go to the gym. I'm telling you. All right, let's see how this fella does. Very nice. That was a very nice shave. Regarding the giveaway, yeah, I'm going to give this razor away. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it up first. You know, I'm making sure that I polish it and tighten it up. And I don't know, does it need to be centered? No, it's pretty good. It's pretty well centered in there. Yeah, so regarding the giveaway, just make some comments. Why do you think you should get it? I'll send the razor out. Couple weeks. Give me a couple weeks to go through the comments and decide who's going to get it. But one final thing that I wanted to say is that I've said this before, and that is, you know, shaving with straight razors is very cool, you know, tough and manly and all that stuff. But when you can actually put your own edge on it, it's a whole different ballgame. I remember when I was first starting out, I was right here, and my wife's thing is right there. She sits there and does her stuff. And I remember I put my edge on it, and I'm sitting there shaving, and I'm just really proud. And I was like, look at this, honey. I said, I can shave with this. And she looks at me, and she's like, yeah, so? They don't get it. But I get it. And when you do it, you're going to get it. So I appreciate you tuning in. You guys have a great day, a good night, have a good weekend, and we'll see you real soon. Also, if you have any questions about this stuff, email me. Don't feel bad, email me, drmatt1911@gmail.com. Also, if you're looking at some razors, not sure on eBay, send me a picture to the drmatt1911 email. Send me a pic, I'll give you my 2 cents opinion. All right, guys, that's it.